Eclipse season begins on the 20th of April with a total solar eclipse in Ashwini Nakshatra. If you'd like to know about the impact of this celestial event on your own personal horoscope, I've put together a very special consultation for you, available at a discounted rate for you to schedule at the link above. So they say the needs of the many far outweigh the needs of a few. Right. Right. So, try that one where you have a group of people who all have a really deep sense of ethics, right? And to go all in on the needs of the many means that they're not being true to themselves. And very quickly, you have a situation where there's no needs of the many because there's no many anymore. There's just individuals with, differing points of views and differing sets of ethics and different things that are important to them. So there's no perfect balance between those two things. And when you're dealing with a situation where it can feel to you like a solution has to be found sooner rather than later, then more pressure gets put upon that process of trying to balance out the needs of the many with the needs of the few. So there has to be, to a degree, a meeting in the middle. But at the same time, that meeting in the middle process has to respect, to a rather large degree, all the individual parts that are feeding into the equation. Because without that, the whole that one is trying to contribute to is much weaker because the individuals that are committing to that whole are much weaker because they're not being true to themselves. So a balance has to be found between individuality and commitment to a group process. And as we approach this full moon cycle, that's something that's likely reaching a crescendo for you in one area of life or another. There's the question of how do we find that meeting point? If you go too far in the direction of trying to convince another person to see things your way, it's going to come across as pushy. If you don't express your needs, well, guess what? They're going to sense them anyway and go, well, this person really wants this, but they're not coming out and expressing it. So again, there's no perfection, and you're dealing with the process that, it can't go on ad infinitum. And to be fair, you're feeling, kind of fed up to here with that whole particular process, right? You've had enough of it. You're disenchanted. You're tired. You're exhausted. You've been putting a lot of energy into trying to find some answers and solutions, but it feels to you like you're just going round and round and round in circles with the repetitive tape loop that you're tired of like playing out over and over and over again. The best thing for the process that you're dealing with is just simple honesty. Now, the trickiness about this is you need to be able to express your point of view without trying to convince another person to see things your way. How do you do this? Well, quite simply put, you just go, honestly, this is how I am seeing it, but I don't need to convince you to see it the same way. But perhaps if we all communicate honestly how we're seeing this situation, a greater understanding can be found that will at least allow us a certain degree of allowing each of the individual parts of the equation to maintain their dignity, their ethics, respect themselves whilst they are equally respecting what they're committing to as a group, right? You don't want to sacrifice all the individual parts of the equation for the sake of short-term solutions, right? You need to be honest with how you're seeing the situation. You need to be patient above all things. And even though you may feel like you're dealing with a situation where you've had enough of the wait and see approach, you're dealing with a scenario where long-term solutions are going to be better than, quick fix solutions. So strive to be patient a little bit longer. Be honest, allow space for everybody else in the equation to be equally honest, and above all else, don't be pushy. Of course, you're feeling disenchanted with this. Of course, you want to bring a permanent and lasting result. But truth of the matter is, you're almost there. But in order for whatever this is about for you to continue to move forward with strength and stability, all who contribute to that situation need to maintain their individuality and be respected for doing so. That's a very tall order. I recognize that the best you can hope for at the moment is a large degree of honesty, admitting that, hey, I'm just being honest with how I see it. I don't need to change your point of view. And then let each person kind of take their own separate space and then reintegrate and see where the situation's at. May take a few times of doing that, but just be patient. Again, if you could use a little bit of help with this particular situation, aside from the eclipse consultations, which I'm offering, I do offer just regular consultations that are available through my astrological services page. You'll be able to find a link to that just above. That's going to do it for this look at the full moon that takes place on the 6th of April, 2023 in Ashwini Nakshatra. Sorry, and Chitra Nakshatra, not Ashwini Nakshatra. I was talking about the eclipse earlier, so I got confused. Until then, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.